really understand what it was. But when I sat back and wrote this book and looked retrospectively, I was able to compare different experiences that I had. And so one of the comparisons I made was a trip that I took during medical school. There was a new rotation that was started, and I was the first person to take it, which was going down to Central America, to the unknown, and going and working in some clinic in Nicaragua. I had no idea anything about Nicaragua. I didn't know a Sandinista from a Muppet, and it was just past the revolution that had happened there. The country was war-torn. So I went down there, and part of what I did was I sat in this bombed-out hospital where you basically went there either to die or to have a baby. And I spent a couple weeks in there watching the pretty much lay midwives delivering babies. And I had completed my obstetrics and gynecology rotation a few months prior to that in the United States. So I saw the gold standard medical practices in the United States where, as you say, the first thing that happens when that baby comes out is that clamp that cord as quickly as possible. And I remember asking my chief resident, why are you clamping the cord so quickly? Because it seemed like it was like this horrible emergency that had to be done. And they said, well, the blood will run back into the mother if you don't clamp it. And I thought, oh, all right. And so then I went down to Nicaragua, and things were so different down there. So here I am, after doing the American rotation, thinking, oh, if there's any cord wrapped around the neck, you have to go to C-section. If there's anything at all, any question at all, you have to go to C-section. And then I go down to Nicaragua, and C-sections are really dangerous because nothing is sterile. And I only saw one woman have a C-section, and I'm pretty sure she probably didn't make it through it. And I don't know if the baby made it through. It was that bad. So everyone else pretty much delivers naturally, no medications, no Pitocin, no nothing. They're basically there just to have the experience of the midwives who are very patient, sit there calmly delivering one baby after the next with cords wrapped around the neck twice. So I'm sitting there having a heart attack watching this baby come out with, I'm like, there's a cord. And they're like, just chill out, calm down. So they deliver the baby. Feet coming out first, no problem. Deliver the baby, breech. It was just seamless there because they were just so used to it. So that was a really stark comparison. So here I didn't put it together at the time about the cord. I didn't put that together until a couple of years ago when I started researching, why human beings are the only mammal on the planet that feels the need to clamp the cord immediately when the baby comes out. I've watched pigs being born and they walk around with the dry cord kind of hanging out. Afterwards, same with dogs and cats, kind of chew it off. So I thought, well, maybe because we can't chew it off, obstetricians think they have to clamp it. But what I found out, and I'm just going to show you a picture here, is this is the first patent picture from the first patent of the first cord clamp that was made. And the reason that they invented this cord clamp, and I'm trying to remember the year that it was, 1899. Prior to 1899, what would happen would be they would wait for the baby to be born, the cord would stop pulsating, they'd wait, 10, 15 minutes, and then they would get thread, and they would tie it off in two places with the thread, and then they would cut it. But what would happen is there would be a couple of drops in between the two pieces of thread when they cut it, and they would stain the sheets. So this was invented to keep the sheets from being stained.
Are you hearing that, everyone? So the whole thing was invented to keep the sheets clean.
Yeah.
No blood on the sheet.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you can imagine, it was, they didn't have automatic washing machines back there, but it says here that the patent one, particularly here, it says that you should put it on when the cord has ceased to pulsate. The patent of the clamp says to put it on when the cord has ceased to pulsate. Well, I'll tell you, I never saw a cord cease to pulsate in my obstetrics and gynecology rotations in the United States. So that was, and then since then I've learned that when you allow that cord to empty out, the placenta is basically emptying out into the baby. So when a baby's born, it's going down through a tight space. It's a pretty cool design because all that, basically decreases the volume of the baby so it can get out easier. Then after the baby is out, all that blood, which is about a third of the baby's blood that it's required to have, that it's its own blood left in the placenta, should be left to drain. But with that blood comes stem cells, and that's a really important thing. So instead of banking your stem cells for $6,000 and paying for them to be preserved in case your child gets cancer after the medical system has, injected them with anything that they're eligible for, you could just give that child the stem cells at the time. And we already know that when you look at people that are 100 years old, 110 years old, Not to mention that stem cells are anti-inflammatory. And like I said the other day, is that everything in that baby after it's born is designed to be anti-inflammatory, to keep that baby in an anti-inflammatory position. So vaccines defy that entire thing, and clamping that cord keeps a lot of that anti-inflammatory cells from going in. But the other thing is that sometimes the placenta gets stuck in the mother and it's hard to deliver. Well, one of the reasons, and I never saw this happen in Nicaragua. In Nicaragua, the placentas just came right out afterwards. And that's because when you let the blood drain out, the blood vessels and the interface between the mother and the placenta kind of shrivels up, and then it just peels off on its own. It's the design. That's how it's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to have to put your arm in there and scrape off with your fingers like I saw happen in the OBGYN rotations. So that was all a real revelation to me. And when you talk to, midwives who are real midwives today, they'll tell you that that's what they do. That's the best way to do it.
I remember giving birth and then being jabbed in the leg with something for the placenta to come out. No idea what it was. What was that?
Probably that was Pitocin, I guess.
It's like, whack, take that, let's get it. And I was like, hang on a minute, I've just given birth.
Here's your shot, yeah.
It was just a whack, jab in the leg. So that was what?
I think it was probably Pitocin, oxytocin, to cause vasoconstriction. Yeah.
Nice.
Stop you from bleeding.
Now, what about, there are mothers that take that further and birth with the placenta and have the lotus birth. What is your thought on that? Where you're spending days with this placenta attached to your kid everywhere they go.
That is pretty. It's taking it, to the extreme. But when people do this, they claim that it's, that they really love it, that they think that the baby does better with it. I don't know. I don't want to say anything negative about it because I'd rather people do that than clamp immediately. It seems a little bit like a ball and chain to me.
Right.
And that, the cord does pretty much dry out, but if there's any nutrients still left to go in there, then okay, I guess so.
You talk in your book about possibly the right time is when the cord goes white and hard.
Right.
And that's maybe possibly when it's a good time.
Yeah. If you Google,